Housing in Singapore, the marketplace is available, private property, HDB resale, and of course, BTO. And people can buy, people can rent, people can cohabit with family and so on. So that is how it's structured in Singapore. And in many other cities, you see different configurations. In other cities, it's principally private housing. And in some cities, it's almost entirely rental. For example, I met the mayor of Vienna recently, and in Vienna, it's just all rental. The other parts of Austria, all home ownership. Right? Part of it is cultural, part of it is historical. And so in Singapore, we have the private housing resale market, and resale market has a lot of semblances of market transaction. There's 1.1 million homeowners. And as part of their housing aspirations, we give you a significant subsidy. You buy your home well below market value. You know straight away, and you look at the BTO launches, this is how much the price is before your grant. This is what a comparable unit would be like nearby, and you can already see there's an upside already. That is not just to reflect how much profit you likely make, which is not the main point. It is how much subsidy we give in order to make it more affordable. And we have some indicators. Those indicators give us some broad parameters to work within. And when people sell, they transact, they then are able to progress. Let's say if they need a bigger home, they want to change location. As you progress on in life, you will accumulate resources. Your family will grow. You will also accumulate obligations and needs. And our society is changing rapidly. One person asked me not just about means testing for income, but there are some people with zero income but a lot of wealth. How do you check for all these things? So we have some people who buy resale flat for more than $1 million. You look at income, zero. Any loan, zero loan. And some are very young. And it's parents who buy for them and say, I help you buy a condo, I help you buy HDB. Don't worry, you get married. Go on, go ahead. So that is really an issue we have to tackle. How do we refine means testing in a way that is not overly intrusive and overly burdensome? In the housing dialogue, we had people who suggested looking at every individual circumstance. It's a bit like how we run certain schemes. For example, ComCare, we run through housing expenditure, income, needs, and everything. But it's extremely intrusive, all right? Not always welcome, but it allows you to customize. But when we talk about tens of thousands of transactions every month and over 1.1 million homes, I do not think it is fair to have a system that goes to that level of intrusiveness and demands that kind of fine-tuning. So that is why we have broad means testing parameters, but also what I call safety valve, to allow supervisors on the ground, to allow people to make some exceptions. And I'm just giving you a broad statement of principle of how we do things. And so it's really what is administratively possible, but what is also acceptable to people in terms of the level of intrusiveness. Just like how my colleague DPM Lawrence Wong answered the question about our tax system in Parliament a few months ago, because it's really about the social compact of tax system. It's not easy. Nowhere in the world has there been a perfectly acceptable system to measure wealth rather than income. And often we accept, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Have a system that broadly works and look at income as a broad proxy for people's ability to cope with different stresses in life, including bearing housing, looking after children, looking after parents, and so on. But everyone's circumstance is different. If you have a child versus looking after a child with special needs, very different set of burdens altogether. Now, if you just look at fairness and equity alone, compared to many decades ago, we would not have dared to build, let's say, at Keppel, right in front of Sentosa. We would not build in Greater Southern Waterfront, just here. We will not build in Rochor, right? Because some people will say, wow, they get this disproportionate amount of subsidy. But we mustn't be stuck by all this. We must look at what the bigger picture is. If we continue to apply those policies and parameters, you will start seeing HDB avoiding these prime locations. Next to MRT in Woodlands, no HDB, just put private housing. Is it correct? No, it's wrong. So we have to adjust. And PLH, not fully tested, all right? The proof is many years in the future, but it's a statement of conviction. We want to build HDB flats in those very prime locations and also put rental housing. Ang Mo Kio Weave, people talk about the headline pricing for BTO. We are putting rental flats there. And we're also putting them in the estate itself, not separate blocks if we can help it. Not always welcome, but we think that with good programming and with social norming, people can accept that casualness in society.